Hello friends, and this is the last subject of the book I've been following. Şimdi arkadaşlar kitabın son ünitesi Phrasal Verbs. Now, what is a phrasal verb? Let's go and first look at the examples and the sentences, and then I'll try to explain what a phrasal verb is. Look at this. We put off our trip. You see verb and another word. We call this particle. So these together consist of one verb and one particle. So it has totally different meaning from the meaning of put. Şimdi gördüğünüz gibi burada bir put off var. Verb, particle. Şimdi sadece put desem, şimdi I put the books on the shelf. Kitapları rafa bıraktım. Ya da I put the books on the table. Kitapları masaya bıraktım ya da koydum. But if I say we put off our trip, we will go next month instead of this month. Here it has totally different meaning. That means postpone, put off, yani iptal etmek. Gördüğünüz gibi. Jimmy, put on your coat before you go outdoors. But here, verb, another particle. Actually, this is preposition, but here we call this particle. Again, this has different meaning. That means put on, place clothes on your body. Yani giy anlamında. Someone left the scissors on the table. They didn't belong here. I put them away. But here, verb, pronoun, then particle. So, I use the pronoun in between. I separated them. I separated the verb from the particle. Gördüğünüz gibi bu ikisini ayırıp bu sefer araya pronoun koydum. Put them. Them means scissors. So, put away, put something in its usual or proper place. Yani geri yerlerine koydum anlamında. Şimdi burada put away hemen hemen aşağı yukarı aynı anlama gelebiliyor. But put off, put and put off burada ise tamamen farklı anlam. After I used the dictionary, I put it back on the shelf. Here again, I separated verb, particle, and pronoun. Put back means return something to its original place. Asıl yerine geri koymak. We put off our trip, you know this, or we put our trip off. Again, I separate it and use a noun or pronoun. I put it off. So, these are separable. Yani ayrılabiliyor. Bir de şimdi ayrılamayanlar var. We call them non-separable. Run into. I ran into Bob. If I say I run, yani koşarım. Or yesterday I ran in the park. Dün parkta koştum. But if I say I ran into Bob, that means I met them accidentally or out of a sudden. Kazara. Aniden ona rastladım. Burada ise tam farklı bir anlam. Or I ran into hint. Hint, clue. Yani ipucunu elde ettim anlamında. But in here, I cannot use Bob in between. I cannot say I ran Bob or I ran him into. So this is separable. Burada Bob ya da him olarak I ran him into kullanamıyorum. Tamamen bunu I ran into beraber kullanıyorum. Yani bu non-separable anlamında. Şimdi phrasal verb'ler ilk öğrenirken biraz sıkıntılı gibi gözüküyor. Ancak bunları böyle şunu ayrı, bunu ayrı bir kelime olarak düşünmeyin. Bu ikisini bir kelimeymiş gibi algılamaya çalışın. Yoksa ya put koymak, of yok anlamında. İkisi beraber ne oluyor? Gibi böyle kafada karışıklıklar meydana gelebilir. Tamamen bir kelimeymiş gibi düşünün. Öyle öğrenmeye çalışın. Tabi bunlar ilk etapta hemen kolay olmayacak. Böyle zamanla yani in the course of time, I mean, the more we read, the better we learn. And remember there is a saying, the long journey starts with the first step. Hani derler ya, uzun yolculuk ilk adımla başlar. Step by step, step by step. Yani bıkmadan yani never give up. Şimdi bak yine orada bir phrasal verb kullandım. Hani give vermek ama give up derken pes etme yani pes etmek give up. Never give up, asla pes etme. Şimdi bu arada bu dersi biraz böyle hızlı geçmek istiyorum. Çünkü hep phrasal verb'ler göreceğiz. O kısımlarda geldiği zaman sana diyeceğim yani size videoyu durdurup onları yazmaya çalışın. But anyway, here we have an exercise and it says complete the sentences with the given words. The words may be used more than once. So these particles or prepositions, use them. Number one is done. The children's toys are all over the floor during the day, but before they go to bed, they always put their toys away. Remember, they put the toys to their places. Oyuncaklarını yerlerine koyarlar. Now pause the video and then try to complete the sentences. Number two, in winter, I never go outside without a coat. Before I go out, I always put my coat on. Put on means wear, yani giyme. 3. I took a book from the shelf and then returned it to the exact same place. In other words, when I was finished looking at the book, I put it back. Or away is also possible, where I found it. 4. Sometimes I postpone, cancel, doing my homework in the evening and watch TV or talk on the phone instead. I probably should do my homework first, but sometimes I put it off. Put off, postpone, same meaning, and do it later. 5. I'm not a late sleeper. I get up early almost every day. Kalkmak. I usually take the bus to work. I get on the bus near my apartment and get off just a block from my office. Get on, get off. We are leaving on May the 1st. We'll return May the 7th. As soon as we get back from our trip on the 7th, we'll call you. Get back, return. When I enter the dark room, I turn on the lights. Turn on the lights or turn off the lights. Turn on the lights, ışıklar açmak. Turn off, kapamak. When I left, I turned them off. You see, this is separable because it is important to save electricity. Here, just look at this exercise and underline the second part of the phrasal verb or underline the particle one or the particle ones. O particle dediğimiz ya da preposition olan kısmı altını bizden çizmemiz isteniyor. Pause the video and then do it please. Here, I figured the answer out. Try to find the answer means. The teacher called on me in class. Call on, visit or to call somebody. Here, call on, call yani seslenme anlamında. I made up a story about my childhood. Made up, yani oluşturma, meydana getirme. I feel okay now. I got over my cold last week. Get better. Get over, recover. The students handed their papers in. Handed, gave. I woke my roommate up. Uyandırma. I picked up here, a book and started to read. Got means I turned the radio on. Açmak. You don't know how to spell a word. I look it up in the dictionary. Anlamını için söz yapmak, araştırmak. I opened the telephone directory and looked up the number of a plumber. Telefonunu, find or look for. I put my book down. Down is the second part, and turned off the light. Yeah, look at this exercise and try to figure out whether the phrasal verbs are separable or non-separable. But pause the video first, please. Number 1, I got over my cold. This is non-separable, so I got over it. I made up the story, or I made it up. Separable, so I separate. I put off my homework. I put it off. Separable. I wrote down the numbers, or I wrote them down. Separable. I ran into Robert, or I ran into him. Non-separable. I figured the answer out, or I figured it out. Separable. I took off my shoes, or I took them off. Separable. Is the same in here. So 9. I turn off the lights, or I turn them off. Separable. I can use either this way or this way. Bu şekilde de bu şekilde kullanabilirim. I threw away the newspaper, or I threw it away. Separable. Now here we have a list of some phrasal verbs, and I don't want to read all of it, but just pause the video and then write them down on a piece of paper, and I'll read a couple of in the example. For instance, Tom picked up the baby. Got the baby. I took off my coat when I arrived. Take off, took off. And my wife woke me up at 6. I wrote this phone number down. Now look at this exercise, and using the particles or the prepositions, complete the sentences. Number 1 is done. Before I left home this morning, I put on my coat. Wore, wear, wore. Pause the video and then try to complete the sentences, please. Number 2, when I got to class this morning, I took off my coat. The students handed in their homework. Gave. Johnny made up a story. He didn't tell the truth. Made up. Make up, to form or to compose, oluşturma. The weather was bad, so we put off the picnic until next week. Put off, postpone. Alice looked up a word in her dictionary. Anlamına bakma. Alice wrote down the definition. My roommate is messy. He never picks up his clothes. The teacher handed out, distributed. Dağıtma. Burada dikkat edin. Hand in, give, hand out, distribute. The test papers at the beginning of the class period. Şimdi gördüğünüz gibi bak. Hand, particle, this is different from this one. This has different meaning and this has different meaning. A strange noise woke up the children in the middle of the night. Uyandırma. When some friends came to visit, Chris stopped watching TV and he turned off the television set. It was dark when I got home last night, so I turned on the lights. Turn off, turn on. Daha çok gördüğünüz gibi elektriksel aletler açıp kapama. Elektrikle çalışan. Peggy finally figured out the answer to the arithmetic problem. Bulma. Yani find the solution. Çözümü bulma. When I was walking through the airport, my arms got tired, so I put down my suitcases for a minute and rested. Yere bırakma yani. Leave them on the floor. I threw yesterday's newspaper away or threw yesterday's newspaper out. Bir kenara bıraktım, attım, fırlattım anlamında. Now here we have another list of phrasal verbs. Call teacher called on Ali. That means ask to speak in class. Ali istedi anlamında. Get over. Sue got over her cold and returned to work. Yani soğuk algınlığından iyileşti anlamında. Now get off, get on. Get off on a bus, on airplane, train, subway. Get on a bus, get on airplane, get on a train, get on a subway. These are the big vehicles. Get in a car or a taxi, get out of a car or taxi. Şimdi biz şu ikisini binmek diye kullanırız. Şu ikisinde inmek. Yani bir araçtan. Ama dikkat edin. Yani büyük araçlar için araca binmek get on, araçtan çıkmak ya da inmek get off. Küçük araç olursa get in binmek, get out of inmek anlamında. Ona dikkat edin. Looking to investigate. Tom asked Mary out. They went to a movie. Ask out to go on a date. Yani dışarı çıkmaya teklif etme. I called up my friend in New York. Call up, that means make a phone call. I put the clean dishes away, put them to their own place. Thanks for the loan. I'll pay you back soon. Geri ödeyeceğim sana anlamında. I tried on several pairs of shoes. Try on, deneme anlamında. Put on clothing to see if it fits. Or put them on to see if they fit. If you want, just pause the video and then write them down. Here we have an exercise and complete the sentences with pronouns and particles. Number 1 is that could you lend me a couple of bucks? Bucks means money. Birkaç dolar işte neyse. Sure, thanks. I'll pay you back tomorrow. Pay you back. Now, pause the video and then try to complete the sentences. 2. The radio is too loud. Can you please turn it down? Turn down the volume. Yani sesini kısma. Sure. I can't hear the TV. Could you please turn it up? Sesini kısma. Down, up, sesini açma. I'd be glad to. I would be glad to. Have you heard from Jack lately? No, I think I'll call him up. Arayacağım onu tonight and see how he is. See how he is. Here you see noun close. Someone's at the door. Can I call you back? Sure. I think this is on the phone talking to somebody. call you back. Tekrar seni arayacağım. Where is my coat? I hung it up. Asmak. Did you leave the water on? No, I shut it off. Closed. Shut it off. Kapattım. When I finished washing my hands. May I borrow your calculator? I'll give it back to you tomorrow. Geri vereceğim. And I'll give it, veririm. Ama give it back, sana geri vereceğim. Sure, keep it as long as you need it. You can't smoke the cigarette in the auditorium. You'd better put it out before we go in. Put it out, söndürmek. Şimdi gördüğünüz gibi put off, iptal etme, put on, giyme, put out, söndürme. Now we have the rest of the exercise, but here also I'll pause the video and then try to complete the rest of the sentences. 10. Do you have any plans for Saturday night? Yes, I have a date. Jim Olsen asked me out. Dışarı çıkma önerdi. Did you take my eraser off my desk? Yes, but I put it back on your desk when I was finished. İşim bittiğinde onu tekrar geri yerine koydum. Oh, it's not here. Look under your notebook. Ah, there it is. Thank you. İşte orada. 12. Your toys are all over the floor, kids. Before you go to bed, be sure to put them away or put them back. Back also is possible in here. Okay, Daddy. Onları geri yerine koyun. Put them away. Did you go to Kathy's party last night? She didn't have the party. She called it off or she put it off. İptal etti. Postpone. This is a nice looking coat. Why don't you try it on? Denemek. How much does it cost? That's Annie's toy, Tommy. Give it back to her. Onu tekrar ona ver. No. Çocuk da ısrar ediyor. Now again, in our list of phrasal verbs, you may think that this is getting boring. Şimdi bunun artık sıkıcı olduğunu düşünebilirsiniz ancak bu fiilleri dediğim gibi yani yazarak yazmaya bakın. Sıkılmamaya bakın. Yani try not to get bored. That's important because the more we read, the better we learn. And writing is the best way of learning something. So pause the video and then just write them down. As I'll read a couple of. The teacher pointed out a misspelling. Point out, call attention. I finished the letter and printed out. Çıktısını alma. I tore up the sacred note. Tear up, that means tear into small pieces. Parçalara bölme, ayırma, yırtmak yani. I found out where he lives. Keşfettim anlamında. Nerede oturduklarını. Find out means discover the information. Now, the list is going on. Liste gidiyor ve gidecek bu. Dediğim gibi biraz sıkıntı olabilir. Ama sıkılmamaya bakın. Blow out, extinguish. He blew the candles out. Yani mumları üfleyerek söndürdü. He blew. She brought my books back to me. Kitaplarımı geri bana getirdi derken. I clean up my apartment. Apartmanımda genel bir temizlik yaptım. İyice, güzelce. Please leave the light on. Lambayı açık bırak derken. She took a book back to the library. Kütüphaneye geri bir kitap götürdü. I thought the problem over. Yani problemi gözden geçirdim. We worked the problem out. Yani solve the problem, yani çözdük anlamında. Now, another list. Again, as I said, the list is going on. Breakdown, that means stop functioning properly. My car broke down. Araba durdu, çalışmıyor. Breakout, happen suddenly. Break up, separate, end a relationship. For example, Jim and Jane broke up. İlişkiyi bitirdiler derken. Come in, enter a room. Sometimes we say people, come on, come in. İşte gir içeri derken. Dress up, elbise giyme. Eat out, eat outside. Baba's house, yani dışarıda yemek yemek. Move in, bir yere taşınma. Move in, move out, bir yerden taşınma. Stand up, go from sitting to standing. Yani ayağa kalkma. Start over, begin again. Stay up, not to go to bed. Ayakta kalma. Take off, ascend in an airplane. Airplanes take off, havalanma anlamında. Now, daily English. Sybil and Carol again talking. Where is Jay? He was here just now and I need him. He's gone to make another call. I've tried to catch him several times but always just missed him. Kaçırdım. That's because he's been in and out all day. He's been in and out. That means he's been coming in, going out. Coming in, going out. Girip çıkıyor, girip çıkıyor, girip çıkmakta. He's been in and out all day. What's been going on? Neler oluyor? There have been quite a number of emergency calls and he is the only technician available to go out and deal with them. With emergency calls. Deal with, handle or take care. Yani işi halleden onlarla. At the moment. Okay, now the course is over in here, but not the subject. And see you next time.